I had a decidedly more brutal reaction, and I may release that audio and edit it, but I don't know. I'm debating that. But house cleaning out of the way, please subscribe to Examining Kubrick. Please consider supporting the channel. I will put some additional links as we have more whatever networks to tap into, and we'll get into that in another video. So, what is wrong? Well, I don't want to go too tinfoil on this one, but we're going to explore, let's say it, is Aaron and or Nora. Again, I do find the hypothesis a little laughable because they're frankly not very intelligent, but this has happened over time that the CIA and or FBI or other agencies do prop up these people. They prop up organizations and leaders, and it takes a while, but when we get access to declassified documents, it's pretty shocking that people we thought were so-called radical leaders were that's just what they were. They were just paid by the government. So is this another case? Well, there was definitely a telltale sign at the very beginning of the video. And yes, believe me, I suffered. I got up to 45, 46 minutes. That was it. I was like, you know what? I think I gave this a chance, and it was pretty shockingly empty. But Nora said something that was really weird, stating, which was also not true, that people had now two choices, the Aftermath Foundation and or SPTV. And again, it could just be Nora is incompetent and Aaron is a buffoon. Did she really forget about the Cult Awareness Network? Now, CAN had other names, so I want to be fair there. But for a lot of its duration, CAN was this very militant anti cult organization. And why is this relevant to Aaron and Nora? Well, in their case, during the 1980s, and even as far as back the 1970s, this was not a joke to the cult of Scientology. They were very bitter enemies, and they proved it. OSA, lawsuits, they made it no secret. They wanted to destroy CAN. In fact, you can double check this yourself very quickly. In his only interview, literally his only interview, Miscavige is primarily attacking CAN. When he talks about that controversial thing about the blacks and the KKK, you're like, what are you talking about? He's talking about CAN. So to the Scientologists, they considered CAN literally like this neo-Nazi organization out to destroy them, which is kind of ironic, but that was the framing of it. And they proved it by just constantly, and I do mean constantly attacking. And at the end, CAN could not survive just being overwhelmed with these lawsuits and eventually was, yes, bought out by Scientology. They literally bought CAN. And cynically, when people called CAN, not knowingly, they were giving information to Scientology. CAN has its own issues, its own skeletons. There's been a lot of rumors that it was working very closely with the government, again, back then. So a lot of question marks with CAN. However, that was what it was. It was a militant anti cult movement and anti cult organization. And we just look at the SPTV Foundation as well as the Aftermath Foundation. Yes, Claire Headley has stated that she feels that she's being monitored by OSA and that Scientology is doing a few things to obstruct the Aftermath Foundation. And this is when Aaron was running the foundation, by the way. So there is some evidence that Scientology is monitoring these foundations, but it isn't adding up. If Nora and Aaron are what they are formidable, quote, radical leaders, and they're unleashing these protesters around the world. Also not true, but fine, whatever. This is a much more regional set of protests, but whatever. But that's just hucksterism and advertising. So either they're just not very good, they're incompetent leaders, and or they're gaslighting people about this very critical history of anti-Scientology, where again, good or bad, CAN was very effective. I mean, when they spoke about getting people out of Scientology, they literally got people out of Scientology. They weren't playing around. Now, again, I'm very mixed on CAN, and I've thought about putting out a video whether we need a new CAN. CAN is going to open up, no joke, its own can of worms. Again, those are very serious legal, ethical issues to directly get people out of Scientology. So, it's a lot of question marks. I'm not encouraging people to do that legally on YouTube. I'm saying that's what CAN did. So it could just be, as usual, a slip up, but that really made me question where Nora's coming from. Does she not know about CAN? Why is CAN not much more of a focus? It's very, very strange. And again, good or bad, this was a very effective organization, and Scientology just buried it in lawsuits. But with Aaron and Nora, really nothing. They're really not trying to obstruct these people. Really, the most they do is try to copyright strike or demonetize. I'm not encouraging that, but really, Jessica and Streets LA, they're just getting monitoring. Like, okay, the PIs are after them. Like with Jessica, there was a swatting incident, which was very alarming. However, it's not technically Scientology. That could have just been the police, or frankly, unfortunately, right, someone who was just jealous of Jessica. So there's a lot of question marks. So there is some evidence that Scientology may be serious about shutting down these people, but again, compared to CAN, it's not matching up. So again, do I honestly think Aaron is a CIA agent? No, but do I think there's a lot of controlling? Yes. And again, we do have like this negative evidence that Scientology is just not taking this seriously. Good or bad, they just had an all out war. And again, allegedly, they even authorized assassination attempts. Again, allegedly. But with Aaron, again, it's just like they frankly are just back to monitoring people. They're doing a little harassment, but they're not taking this seriously as a fundamental challenge to their existence. So, does that tell us much? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe OSA just realizes it's just too costly. They don't want to do this again. Maybe Miscavige is just really, really greedy, doesn't want to spend the money. But I don't know. That's a very telling sign that they're trying to bury the history of CAN and just replace it with this pseudo history of the SPTV Foundation.